Hey, Queens, how are you all doing this evening? I hope everyone is doing well. This is your girl, Twonta Davis Jones. And of course, my other sister, Leticia Campbell, she is not available at this moment. She had to take care of personal matter, and that is all right. But we're here tonight, and we're here to bless you with some great content and some great discussion tonight. And of course, we got our girl behind the scene, Miss Therese, our producer, the number one, right? She takes care of all of the graphics and all that other stuff, that I don't have nothing to do with because I don't know nothing about that stuff, y'all. Okay, I just pour out the content. That's all I do. Yeah, and try to look cute. So yeah, y'all, we are so excited. We made it again this week. Thank the Lord for allowing us to see this Wednesday, to see this week. And yeah, we are so super duper excited, to share with you some wonderful things that's going to be taking place. Actually, there's one thing that's going to be taking place, of course. We have coming up our sister to sister self-care event that's coming up on the 28th, y'all. Oh, I'm sorry, the 25th. I don't know why I said 28th. Y'all forgive me. The 25th is the last Saturday, y'all. It's the last Saturday at 11 a.m., right? And we are so excited. My girl, Leticia Campbell, she has just been working hard, her and her team. And as you can see, this is what we have available for you ladies. And it tells you what the event is going to be about. It's all about mental health. Mental health matters. It's about awareness, ladies, because y'all, we as women, we have a lot going on in our lives, and we need to find a way to positively, what's the word? To digress, so we don't feel so overwhelmed and we feel so yucky emotionally and mentally and all those things. So yeah, we are going to be talking about, how to really have a successful mental life, if that makes sense, right? So when you get a chance, ladies, go ahead and check this out. And the information here is very straightforward. And then, of course, you'll click that link down there and it will take you directly to where you need to go ahead and register for the event, and make sure you have your seat at the table, right? And the seat at the table, again, is on the 25th. It's at 11 a.m. And it's going to be absolutely amazing, right? It's going to be something that, again, ladies, we definitely need to talk about. And as you can see, who is going to be on the panel, this queen is amazing. She's awesome. And I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed when she comes in and share her wisdom and her testimony about being a woman of great worth, and the things that she experienced down through the years of her life, and as a woman, as an entrepreneur, and just living in this world, just living in the world, living in this community, and what we as women deal with, what we face with every single day. And I don't care how good we got it. There are times, y'all, where we are put down on our knees. You hear what I'm saying? Because the weight of the world is on our shoulders, and it can do so much damage to us emotionally and mentally, right? And we just definitely got to keep ourselves in prayer, for number one, but we also got to keep ourselves connected, right? We got to stay connected on one another. We got to check up on each other. It's so important for us to check up on each other. Don't assume anything anymore just because you see your sister on social media, or you see her at church smiling, you see her at the store or whatever. Don't get it twisted. That smile may not be as sincere as you think. She's just covering up the tears. She's covering up the hurt. She's covering up the sadness. You know what I'm saying? So instead of just coming to her and being all nosy, just coming in and say, hey, sis, I'm glad to see you. How you doing? I pray all is well with you, and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Because there's sometimes I might be having one of my moments, and I'm feeling some kind of way. And, God has blessed me with people that just may text or call. And, I ain't say a mumbling word, But they just say, you on my heart, you on my spirit, and I just want to check up on you and see how you feeling, my sister. And that right there is, I just take that all in, right? And and it makes me feel better to know that there is someone that truly cares about me, my well-being, right? They really care for me, and they love me, and they just continue to pour into me, right? They pour into me. And that's what sister to sister connection is all about. We pouring into each other, uplifting each other, helping each other, supporting each other, right? So ladies, make sure that you definitely check out this information. Click on that link. It will take you directly to where you need to go ahead and register, sign up and register for this event. It's on the 25th of this next Saturday at 11 a.m. That's brunch hour, ladies. So you don't have to get all dolled up, dressed up, or anything like that. You could just sit there with your comfortable jammies, with your cup of coffee. You can have your brunch, your breakfast, or whatever you want to do, whatever floats your boat. And we're not even going to be on there that long, a good hour and a half, maybe at least 2 hours tops. And that's pretty much it. But we're going to definitely come in, and we're going to pour a lot of meat, a lot of nutritious content. Yeah, a lot of nutritious content that's valuable, that is important, and that is needed for all of us, right? Hey, girl, how you doing, Diane? Right? So make sure you ladies sign up for the self-care event that's coming up next Saturday at 11 a.m. and it's going to be amazing. Also, ladies, I want to share with you, there is not going to be an afterglow tonight. No, there won't be an afterglow tonight. So normally we have an afterglow for those of you who are brand new, who are watching us via YouTube or what have you. We are at the end of the show. We always go to our little hangout, which we call the afterglow. And that's where we just come in and we just recap on what we talked about. And we just go ahead and have our sister to sister conversation. It's just basically what it's like, a little after party, if you will, right? And you don't even have to show yourself. You could just, just be there and support and just really enjoy the conversation that we have. But tonight, we're not going to have that afterglow. Leticia and I, we just got so much going on. I got a lot going on my end. She got stuff going on her end. And we just need that moment just to really focus on the things that we need to do. And so we definitely will let you guys know when we will come back to having our afterglow, but it will be very, very soon. Okay. So tonight I wanted to get down to the nitty gritty and share with you what we're going to discuss tonight. If you have been paying attention, I know Leticia and her team have been posting the information for us ladies, posting the topic for that we have every week. We come up with a different topic every week. I'm the content creator. I come up with a topic, the title, and all that stuff like that. And so tonight we're going to be talking about get your mind right, honey. Get your mind right. Go get your mind right. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Right? Get your mind right. And again, this is exactly what we're just talking about for our self-care event that's coming up next Saturday. It kind of falls right into that category, honestly, about mental health, right? Because this is all a mental situation when it comes to the battlefield of the mind, right? It's a mental thing, because if our mind is not right, it just messes up everything else. Right. And so we got so much going on in our lives right now. Things are just coming in every day. It's a loaded day, right? Each day, have y'all experienced that already? Have you noticed that each day it just gets busier and busier, and it seems like something just coming every time, and you just trying to try to organize that day to make sure you don't get all discombobulated, get all overwhelmed and confused and all of that stuff. It's just a heavy load, right? And sometimes you don't try to focus on it, but it does come to your mind every now and then. And you sometimes forget certain things, right? Because you're dealing with so much, right? So yeah, we're just going to talk about getting your mind right, how important it is for us to have clarity. It's so important for us to have clarity, ladies, as we are dealing with the day at hand. You cannot function with a discombobulated mindset. You just can't. There's just no way. I mean, people do try that, but it doesn't really work. Right? You're just throwing out straws. You're trying to build a foundation with this weak material, thinking it's going to last. But at the end of the day, it just falls right down in front of your face, honey. And you become even more overwhelmed, right? So yeah, we are going to talk about this so we can really start to really think better, and we can see better, we can hear better, right? And we can respond better, and we can do better. I'm telling you, when it comes to this mind, if it ain't right, if this mind of ours is all confused and everything, guess what? We're going to be confused. We're going to be so out of order, out of pocket. We're going to be so disorganized and everything, right? And then we're going to act like everything is all good and glamorous, right? When we're in front of the camera or we're in front of people and stuff, pretending everything, go, hey, and deep down, we are just a hot mess. And how many of us are tired of going through the motions? How many of us are tired? If you are this write in the comments and say, me, I'm tired of going through the motions, man. I'm tired of feeling 1 minute I'm happy, 1 minute I'm down, 1 minute I'm depressed, 1 minute I'm happy, 1 minute I'm joyful, 1 minute I'm crying. you know, uh-uh. You don't want to go through that no more, right? So yeah, it's time to get your mind right. So let's talk about the first thing about what we need to do. What I mean about getting your mind right. The first thing I want to talk about is about get your attitude right. When it comes to getting your mind right, let's talk about that attitude. Because again, ladies, when we don't get that mind right, our attitude starts to stink up. It starts to get a little crazy. You know what I mean? You got a lot going on. You already emotionally disturbed, distracted, overwhelmed. People's pulling you left to right, and you not feeling your best. You woke up this morning feeling good and talking all sweet and kind and everything, but towards the end of the day in the afternoon, something stirred you up the wrong way. And now your attitude is kind of funky. It's like, well, girl, what's wrong with you? You were happy. What's going on, girl? Leave me alone. I ain't got time right now. I ain't got time, right? Your kids want to come and they want to try you out and everything. What's up, Latavia? Blessings to you, queen. Right? And your attitude is getting all sour and everything. Again, ladies, you got to get that attitude in check. You got to get that attitude in check. I get it. Trust me, I get it. There are times in my life, man, I'm feeling good, I'm doing good and all those things, but then something may just strike my nerves or something, and then it just flips me. I don't mind putting myself on the confession table. I don't have a problem with it, because I know God is doing the thing in me, right? But I know there have been times like that, man. 1 minute I'm good, but next minute I'm having an attitude issue because I'm mad because my daughter said something or she doing something I don't like, and I'm like, what is your problem, chick? What? You need to get it together. You know what I'm saying? Like or my husband get on my nerves. I'm like, you know what, Negro? You know what? Right? I mean, y'all don't have to admit your moments, okay? I will admit mine because I'm still a work in progress, okay? Right? But it all has a lot to do with that mindset because something happened that triggered my mind. The moment that memory came back and it got me all in that defense mode, right? Or it got me in that position to really protect myself, protect my heart from being hurt or being damaged again. Or I'm not gonna let nobody bully me, or I ain't gonna let nobody out talk me, or I ain't gonna let nobody da 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 da. So I gotta get my attitude, I gotta let them know, I gotta tell them da 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 da, right? And I'm telling you, ladies, it just doesn't work the way you think it's working. You may have already said what you had to say, like, I told them, like, she needed that because she was getting on my last nerve. How many of us been there, done that, right? You're like, oh no, I had to tell her, honey, because girl, she was getting on my last nerve. I had to let her know who she was talking to and not to talk at. Okay. But at the end of the day, we don't want looking like the fool because we should know better. We should know better, right? Because when you go ahead and recap on that incident or that argument, right? You like, man, I shouldn't have said that. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Ooh. But then you go ahead and be indignant. You're like, but she still deserved it anyway. Right? We don't want to admit our truth, right? Oh, that's okay, mama. I knew you wasn't gonna be able to make it, girl. Okay. But it's okay, girl. At least you here. Right? But again, ladies, we just have to really get our attitude in check. We need that girl. Come on, Davia. Girl, you ain't never lied, baby. Thank God for growth. Because that's what it is. Ladies, you are growing up, right? You are growing up. Even though we're in our 40s and our late 30s or in our 50s, we're still growing up, right? And we have to really receive that because there's a lot of us out there. We think we already grown. We don't need to grow up anymore. That's a lie. You fooling your own self right there. Okay. You got people that don't want to be told nothing. You got people don't want to, they don't want to be ministered to in a loving way. You know what I'm saying? You're like, girl, what you telling me that for? You need to practice on yourself. You're not telling me. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing is right. See, that's an attitude issue right there. See, you already getting sour. You already getting sour, right? Yes, we need to get our attitude in check every day, throughout the course of the day. Just say, Lord, help me with my attitude because I don't know what I'm going to be facing or who I'm going to connect to when I walk out that door. I don't know who I'm going to be standing around and that person is having a bad day. You know what I'm saying? And even though you being nice and you're like, hey, how you doing, sis? And she don't say a mumbly word to you, you like, okay, well, I did say hello. Hello. Right? And then you're going to go ahead and get indignant, right? So, you have to ask God, like, Lord, help me with my attitude today, right? Help me to be kind. Help me to be loving. Lord, help help my sister, because I don't know what's going on in her life, but you do. Help her with her issues because she's going through right now. You know what I'm saying? When was the last time that you actually talked to God and say, Lord, I'm praying for my sister? When was the last time we did that? Right? Because that's what we need to do. We need to do more of that now. We need to really start praying for our sister because we don't understand what she's dealing with. Again, we as women, we carry the weight of the world on our shoulders every single day. We're wives, we're moms, we're single moms, we're divorced, we're widows. We have business or businesses. And then we got to take care of our home, whether we own a home, whether we're renting a home. Then we got kids that's probably teenagers, if not, going to college, and we got to deal with the finances with that. Then we got to deal with our kids, they're going through their attitude transition as well, especially those who are in their preteen or already in their early teens and stuff. There's so much going on in our life alone that it can really change or shift our attitudes, right? So here's the thing. We have control as to how our attitude should be. We should not allow people to dictate how we should be, right? Or how we should respond. You're going to have people in your life, and you should know how these people are. If these are relatives in particular, you should know how your cousin is. You should already know that she could be very, very sarcastic. You know that she could be very judgmental. You know this. You knew her since you were 6 years old or whatever, and she still hasn't changed. So why in the world would you allow her behavior get the best of you? Mm? Why would you allow her to come into your mind and start shifting stuff in your head? Start like, you moving furniture in the room. Like you'd allow her to move all kinds of stuff, all the good notes, all the positive stuff that you just, that you meditated on. And now you got your cousin up in your brain. She just moving stuff all around and having your whole attitude shifted. You know what I'm saying? Right? So you know who the people are in your inner circle. You know their temperament. You know how they can be. Why would you allow them to to dominate your way of thinking and also take dominance in your way of acting? Right? Treat them with love, treat them with respect. And you don't even have to stay in the midst of all of that. You know what I mean? You could just say, I love you, cousin, I love you, uncle, whatever, and just keep it moving. Right? Don't even take it personal anymore because you know how they are, right? Because you know how they are. Like, okay, I'm just joking. When to ignore them? Yes, learn to ignore. Don't even let that stuff phase you anymore, because you got too much going on in your personal life right now. You got stuff that you asking God to get you in check, right? You know, you can't do this, or you can't fix you. We tried to fix ourselves, but it really didn't work too well. Let's keep it real. It didn't really, you can't do this by yourself. You cannot live this life by yourself. You cannot be dependent on you, because you will fail yourself every dang time. Can I get a witness? Hmm? You need God and God alone to get you through this day by and by. You need him to order your steps. You need him, his word to be the lamp, okay, to guide you. Okay, you need him to keep you in the path that he has assigned for you. You need him to keep you in check. You need him, right, to keep you focused. You can't do this by yourself. The way how this world is right now, the way how people are right now, okay, you, baby, you can't. You can't. I'm telling you. But some of us are doing it. Some of us are just finding different remedies, different ways, different type of something to keep us in check, right? To calm ourselves down. Now, I don't have any problem with you if you want to do like a, like a moment, or, have that quiet moment. It's all good to have that. I'm not there disputing that at all, right? But don't try to self-medicate yourself in doing something that honestly is not going to help you at all. It's just going to cause more problems, more conflict. It's probably going to be kind of dangerous as well for you, physically as well as emotionally and mentally. So you just really need to say, Lord, I give up. I'm going to let you take charge, take dominance over my life. Because guess what? You know me better than I know me. It's just that simple. You created me. You are the creator. So you know me better than I know me. I don't know me. I'm being played by my own self. I'm being that fool. I'm fooling myself, even though I'm thinking I'm being cool, but I'm not. I'm just messing my own self up, right? So yes, ladies, you need to get your attitude right. You know how your attitude is. You know that you need an attitude adjustment. When it comes to people in your life, whether it's personal or whether it's professional, you know how they could get on your nerves. You know how they make you feel. You know their presence come around you. You feel some kind of way. And you like, oh Lord, just help me with my attitude. Help me to be kind. Help me to be nice. Right? Or if not, this Lord, if I don't, help me not to say anything. Right? Help me not to say anything, But if you are having issues with the way how you respond towards people, and it's not positive, you definitely got to get that mind right, because you got to ask God, Lord, help me not to think about the negative things. Help me not to think on the past hurt. Help me not to dwell on, what was being told about me. Because there's people still holding grudges, y'all. Believe it or not, people are still holding on to grudges that's over 20 plus years old. I'm not making that up. There's people still angry at someone that said something to them or about them or at them. And here it is 10 years later, 15 years later, and they still angry. They still carrying that, right? And it has changed their whole attitude, right? That's not good at all. And you want to know why you're not happy, why you're not at peace, why your body is so overly exhausted, because you're stressing and you're straining over something that is dead. Okay, there's no value to that thing anymore. If the person does not want to apologize, why are you still holding on to that poison? If that person has not admitted their mistakes, why are you still holding on to the memory of that? Leave them be. Leave them be, and start asking God to heal you, so you can start living this journey the way God intended for you to live this journey. Okay? Let go of all of that stuff, because that's what's going on in our mind. We carry that in the mind. This is like the attic. You have an attic in your house. and you put all of those boxes up in the attic, and you keep it there until whenever you remember that you have it up there, right? It stays there for a while. Get all dusty and cobwebs and everything, whatever in there, right? This is how we do with issues. We carry it in our attic, in our mind, right? In our mindset, right? And because we never asked God to deliver us from it. We never asked God to remove that pain. So yeah, you have to get your attitude right. You got to get yourself together. Let's move on to number two. We just talked about this. Number two, dump your messy thoughts. When I talk about getting your mind right, and I just said it, you need to dump your thoughts. Dump that garbage. Dump that filth. Dump that stench. Dump it. And I remember, I never forget this. Well, with Leticia, when I was one of her clients back in the day, she had us to actually dump our thoughts on paper. Every day we get up in the morning, we would go ahead and just write. It didn't have to make any sense. You didn't have to write it like in a paragraph or anything. Just start dumping your thoughts on paper. Just release all of that, because some of that stuff was toxic. Some of that stuff was poisonous. Some of that stuff was hurtful. And it just didn't make any sense for us to continue to hoard all of that in our thinking, because it was changing our attitude. It was changing our body language. How many of you has recently started dumping your thoughts on paper? If you had to say me. How many of you has started doing it? If you are doing that now, it's so important. And here's the thing: here's another thing: dump your messy thoughts in prayer. That's it. You dump your messy thoughts in prayer. You talk to God every day, right? You're supposed to, or through the course of the day. Dump it on Him. He can handle it. He said to cast all your cares. All your cares, all your worries, all your frustration, all of your hurt, all of your sadness, whatever it is, cast it all to Him. He can handle it, but you can't. Our bodies is not designed to handle the poisonous of how this world treated us, or how the people in this world treated you. It just can't, right? You got to learn how to dump your thoughts. Dump that anger. Dump that sadness. Dump that bitterness. Dump it. Dump it on paper. Dump it in prayer. And don't think about it no more. There's a thing what people will do sometimes when they gather together, and I've seen this a while back, where they have like these conferences, especially a woman conference, where they will have the ladies to write down every kind of whatever concerns or issues that they had in their hearts and their minds, and they write it on paper, right? And then they will go ahead and they will go outside, and there's like a bonfire, and they will tell them just to take those thoughts and burn it. Just throw it in the bonfire, right? Once and for all. Because guess what? That's not ever coming back again. You can't go in that fire and try to retrieve, because in that the case, then you're burning yourself up, meaning you still holding on to the memory of that hurt, of that pain, of that sadness, of that grief, or whatever it is, right? So we got to learn how to just write it on paper. And if you want, you could just do the same thing. Just throw it in the burner, or, throw it in the trash, or whatever you need to do. But you need to learn how to exercise your mind by dumping every negative thought. Go to God in prayer about those things, right? Tell Him what has been going on in your heart, because He already knows. You got to learn how to do this. So your day can be a restful day, it could be a joyful day, it could be a positive day, it could be an uplifting day, because now you have room to receive positive thoughts. You have room to receive, what God says of who you are to Him. You have room enough to receive, all the beautiful blessings that God has blessed you with that day. Right? And now you know how to receive it and not ignore or reject it. Now you know how to apply it in a healthy, positive way because you finally release all the negative thoughts, that tension. Release all of that. Let that go. Write it down. I've been tense for the past several weeks, because of so and so, because of what they did. Da, 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 da. Put that all down on paper. Some of you been anxious, some of you been tense, some of you been nervous, some of you been overwhelmed, some of you been tired, right? Some of you just been irritated and annoyed, for the past several weeks, if not months, and you don't understand why, or you understand why, but you just don't know how to let this thing go, and you don't want to feel too vulnerable anymore. You need this as your defense. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't need that. Because all it's doing is just corroding your heart. All it's doing is corroding your organs. Your organs is being what's the word? Infested by the way how you carrying all this garbage in you, right? It's causing your organs to work out of order. They say stress kills. Stress plays a major role in your health. And again, ladies, next week we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about how stress can really do some emotional as well as physical damage to your body. And stressed about anything, but if you really, really go ahead and go in a quiet place and you really start to release your thoughts and how you've been feeling and what you've been holding on to, you will start to realize, oh my God, I've been stressed out over this I didn't know this was holding so much weight in my body. That's why you're so tired. That's why you can't go to the bathroom. I ain't trying to be vulgar. I ain't trying to be funky or whatever. This is the truth. You'd be surprised because you know why? Because we eat because we're depressed. That's like a drug to us, right? When you carry these messy thoughts, it has you to do some messy things to yourself. Mhm. Mhm. It has you to do some things to yourself. When you carry messy thoughts, you're going to be doing some messy things. Your actions will be messy, right? Your communication will be messy. Your house, your room will be messy. And when people come in, what people say when they come into a house, the house reflects the person's personality, not so much the style, but their personality. So if you walk into a house that is in mint condition, it's clean. I mean, child, you could just swipe and you ain't gonna see not one particle of dust on your finger. Okay. I mean, you see that person got a clean personality. They ain't holding nothing in. They are releasing that stuff because they clean all the time. They don't waste no time. Every Saturday, every other Saturday is their clean day, honey. And they take a room or they take something and a part of the house and they start cleaning up. But if you go into someone's house and it is hard to get inside the door, you walk in, it's dark, it's gloomy, it's stink, it's funky, it's papers everywhere. The kitchen looks a hot mess, and that reflects what's going on in that person's heart. This is what's going on in their minds. Their thoughts are just like what you see when you walk in that door. When you walk in that threshold, you see the mess. You see the confusion. You see the disturbance. You smell the funk and all of that, right? So if you've been hoarding some things in your life, and you kept saying, you try to camouflage, you cover it up or whatever. So, oh yeah, girl, I've been so busy, I haven't had time. I haven't had time. Yes, I need that cleaning person. Yes, child. Right? And we're too embarrassed to call the maid service. The companies that we could call up now and it could just come in and clean our house for us. We're too embarrassed to let people come in to see the hoardness of our life. Or we don't want nobody in that particular room where we got everything all piled up. That's just how it is with our heart. We don't want nobody in our hearts because it's piled up with so much. But we don't understand how we are self-sabotaging ourselves and how we are doing a self-inflicted wound on us. Okay? You got to get your mind right. And that includes dumping those thoughts every single day. And even during the day, as you are going on about your business, you may come across some conversations, you may come across some arguments or whatever, and that may sting or what it may, you know what I'm saying? And it reflects in your mind for a little bit. But that's when you have to say, Lord, get this out of my spirit. I don't want to ponder on this thing because I know how it's going to affect me. I know how it's going to have me to change or shift my attitude. So God, help me not to ponder on what was being said. I don't want to carry that in my spirit because I know where it's going to take me. See, we got to take ownership. We're responsible for how we allow things in our hearts and our minds. We have the control to either open up that door or to shut it. It's like a storm, a storm is coming, and that's that storm, that rain comes, and then the wind comes. What you going to do? You got your windows wide open. You got the door wide open. You're going to run and shut that thing real quick so your stuff inside won't get wet and damaged. So the same thing applies to our hearts and our minds. As soon as somebody says something, you got to release that in a minute. Dump in your messy thoughts and say, Lord, I'm giving it to you. Lord, please cleanse my heart and my mind. Help me not to ponder on this messy situation. Because all it's going to do is going to stress me out. It's going to get me nervous, going to get me agitated. And I don't want that. You don't have to open up your door and allow anything in your house. No, you have full ownership. If you own your house, you have complete ownership. You can shut it down real quick. Just like this is you. You have complete ownership of what you want in your heart and what you want to carry in your mind. And if you know you got people in your life that still ain't getting it right, they still talking mess, they still acting crazy and all that stuff, you don't need to have that. You can totally just own that real quick. Because you're trying to get your life in order. You don't want to be out of order anymore. You don't want to be, unbalanced. Your equilibrium is off balance because of all of that weight, all of that mess that you have been pondering in your mind for too long, right? Let's go to our last point tonight, ladies. Our last point. Again, ladies, it will not be an afterglow tonight. And again, as you see that's going across your screen, we have the information set up for you ladies to sign up for our self-care event. That's going to be next Saturday, the 25th at 11 a.m. So definitely go ahead and check that out. Click on that link. It will take you directly to the registration. But you go ahead and you can register for that event. Okay. So the last thing, ladies, that I want to share with you about getting your mind right, don't fix problems that you didn't create. Let that sit in there for a second. Don't fix other people's problems that had nothing to do with it. You did not create it. You did not design it. You had nothing to do with it. But it's mighty funny that people are still trying to fix other people's problems. Some of you are fixing your sister's problems. Some of you are fixing your cousin's problems. Some of you are still trying to fix family problems that you have nothing to do with, even though that is your family, but you're not obligated to fix their problems. They grown like you. But yet they come in and you let them in and they go ahead and pour their problems to you like you God, and they expect you to be the problem solver. And you go ahead and do it anyway. And it gets you more in bondage with their issues, and you totally neglect yours. Right? That ain't cool. That ain't cool at all. They grown as you. And whatever problems they created, that's on them. You ain't got nothing to do with that. Yeah, you sorry that your sibling going through. You sorry that your cousin going through. But what can you do about it? Not a darn thing. You'll pray for them that they can receive it or reject it all they want, but that's what you're going to do. Okay? How do you break free when it keeps getting worse? How do you break free? Well, let me throw it back at you, baby. I don't know if you asking that question or you just basically just stating that. But what do you do about it? What is your freedom? What is your freedom? And I get that, because when it gets worse, it feels like you can't breathe. It feels like, oh my God, I don't know what more to do. But that's when you cry out and say, God, I need you to help me. Because again, as I said before, Jesus said in his word to cast all your cares. Even when things do get worse, you still cast it to him, because that's where freedom comes. Because once you release all of that to him, he's going to start restoring your soul. Like the prophet Elijah, when he ran from Jezebel, Miss Thing was going to say, I'm going to kill you. How she said it, it triggered something in him. That fear, homie, was gone. And he ran and he kept running. And when he finally collapsed, he said, I'm ready to die. I'm ready to die. Because this here is too much. I cannot and I will not deal. Right? Are you asking, baby? Okay, I'm telling you, my love. I'm telling you. I'm already giving you the answer. And I know that all of us who are watching, we have been where you are. May not be the same similar story, but that pain, that weight, that pressure, baby, it is no fun. And when you feel like you are claustrophobic, when you feel like you about to just choke, when you feel like you just can't do no more, that's when you say, God, I need you to fix it. I need you to help me, because I can't think of nothing else. You tried everything else on your own will. So now you got to say, Lord, I need you to take care of this, because this is crazy. This is way out of hand. This is too much. This is, whoa, I can't. And once you do that and trust and believe that Jesus got it, like he said, he gonna keep it, he is going to exchange that and pour his peace that surpasses all understanding to you. It's a process. It ain't gonna happen overnight now. But that moment right there, just like he did with Elijah, he woke him up. The angel was right there and said, here, eat this, drink this, so you could get your strength back, right? He fell back to sleep and he woke him up again. Eat this, drink it. Because what God's saying, there's too much work to be done. I got too much for you to do. You're not, I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to restore you. I'm going to help you. Okay? Because I love you. That right there. Because I love you. You matter to me. You important to me. And I'm not going to allow the enemy, the Jezebels, or any other person out there to tell you that you're not good enough. Right? Whatever the issue is, whatever the problem is, whatever it is, because sometimes we listen to the problems more than we listen to the voice that has the solution as to how we need to keep going. Even in the midst of the storm, the worst storm you could ever imagine. Yet God still is our umbrella. He still has a way to shield us and keep us and cover us and protect us. Come on now. And if you really want to answer that question, Sugar, why don't you go back down memory lane and think of the moments when you went through some rough, difficult time. Okay? And you probably had thought the same thing then, like you're thinking now. This is too bad. This too much. But guess what? You got through it though. Whether you acknowledge God's presence in it all or not, you still got through it though. So if you just reflect on what God did for you then, what makes you think he can't do it now? Hmm? What makes you think he can? He ain't dead. He's here forever and ever. It's up to us to acknowledge his presence. Up to us to say, Lord, please help me through this because I cannot do this on my own. I thought I was big, bad, almighty by myself. I could do whatever I could handle, I could fix it. And yet we try. Now we even more deep in a situation than we've been before. And even if it's not us, but yet we carrying the problems of somebody else's. And we got enough problem on our own. Now we suffocating. Now we really can't do much. And you didn't create their problem. But you best believe that there are a lot of people out here today that are still trying to be the judge and jury and executioner for somebody else's problems. Why? Why? Just leave their issues alone. You ain't got nothing to do with that. You got problems on your own right now. We all got issues. That's not a cliche. That's not a cliche to just to say we really do got issues. We really do got some issues going on. And a lot of times we really don't acknowledge those issues to God like we should. We try to find a way to self-medicate ourselves. We're trying to find a way to ignore that elephant in the room. We try to find a way to put on the darkest shades possible so we won't see what is facing us. But you can't have them shades on forever. And you got to walk around that. You're going to have to walk past that elephant in the room, baby. And you're going to have to stand there and take ownership. You got to stand there and take acknowledgement and like realize, okay, this is too much. This is too heavy. This is too deep. Man, I got to let this thing go. I got to let this thing go. There's no way in the world I can carry this right now. I can't. Thank you, Karen. Being Miss Fix It. I like that. It's hard work. You being a slave to somebody that didn't even that you didn't even borrow from them, but yet you being a slave to their mess. You dying in their mess, and you didn't even conspire. You didn't even think of the whole thing, but yet you dying in a mess. You really gotta, and you really gotta break that down and think about it. Because see, this is how the enemy works. He's all about to kill, steal, and to destroy. And he gets you delusional. He keeps you like that. And then you start to just, go based on your feelings. Well, I love my family and I don't want to hurt them. I don't want to disappoint them. So they need me and I want to help them and make sure that everybody's okay and all that, But baby, when you go through the fire, where are your family members then? Because I guarantee you do call them. Where are they then? Or your friends? Thank you, Karen. Because they know how to dump it on you real quick. And they could go ahead and party hardy all night long while you sitting there suffocating, trying to figure how you're going to breathe, how you're going to survive. Now, what am I going to do with all this? What am I going to do with all this? She just came to my house and just dumped this mess in front of my lap. Now I got to figure out how I'm going to deal with this. If y'all remember back in the day when y'all in school, and there might be somebody that you probably knew, may not have been you, but there's always somebody in that room that don't really care about class, but they will hire somebody to do the work for them. They will hire somebody, you know what I'm saying? They will hire somebody like, can you just go ahead and do this for me? And then at the end, they want to get the credit though, like they did something, but really they didn't do anything. They just go ahead and pour it on you to do all the work. And then when you done the work for them, you don't get nothing out of it. You don't get no reward. They're like, oh, thank you the best. Then they just leave you there. But they get all the credit. They get the A, right? They get the prize. Like they really, really was struggling. Blood, sweat, tears, work. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how people are with you. If you got people like that in your life now, they're coming and dumping their problems to you. And you go ahead and fall prey to it because you don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. You still, you love your family and all that. And I'm not disputing that you don't love them, but that's not love towards you. That's abuse. You heard? That's abuse. They're taking advantage of you. They are taking you for granted, baby. Yeah, come on, Karen, preach. They do get mad at you because they want it quick, fast, in a hurry. And they're like, you ain't finished it yet? I'm like, no. Hello, I have a life too. How many times you have said it? Listen, I got a life. I gotta take care of my kids. I gotta pick up my kids. I got my husband to take care of. I gotta They don't want to hear all that. They just want to make sure they're the priority. That whatever mess they put on you, that should be the priority. Ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy? So why are you still carrying the problem? Why are you still trying to fix it? And you know you are not the problem. You didn't create it. You didn't create it. You got to get your mind right, Shugs. They messed you up so bad you can't even think straight. They got you all wrapped up, tied up in their confusion, baby girl, and you can't even see the light of day. I'm telling you, this kind of stuff will get a person in a mental situation so deep. And you want to know why we get upset, why we go off, why we do crazy stuff, why people do the unthinkable sometimes. How people say, I had enough, or whatever. And some people don't even say it. They just go ahead and shoot you. That's real talk, y'all. Because that's exactly what's going on in our communities. There's people right now, right? Right. There's people right now in your neighborhood, down the street, around the corner, in your apartment, or wherever you live, that are already going through a mental breakdown. Because these points that I'm bringing to your attention is exactly what people are dealing with right now. Mm-hmm. You hear the fights, you hear the arguments, you hear all that stuff going on. And it doesn't always have to be about a husband or wife. It could be your kids. People are really going through so much. It's amazing. I think when the pandemic came and all of that, how it just started to really reveal what was really going on behind those pretty closed doors in the neighborhood. And it's still pouring out. And it hasn't gotten any better. Now that things kind of have calmed down, COVID is still going on. It is not. It did not leave. It's still happening. People still getting COVID. It's just not broadcasting like it was 3 years ago. But the pandemic itself done some things. It done some damage. It done an economic damage. It done a financial damage. People lost jobs. People are still without work. People are trying to survive, trying to stay afloat, right? And it is just too much. People are trying to figure out how they're going to make it. Their marriages is compromised because of this. It's a lot. Families are still struggling, trying to figure how they're going to see one another and all of that. It's a lot. And they can't travel because they don't have the means to do so. Ooh, baby, it's a lot going on in people's lives. And then you got the medical issues going on. Do you know how much it costs to get just generic pills? Medication costs just as much as the brand. And if you don't have no insurance, how you going to? This is what people are dealing with this. There's so much going on. And you have a lot going on in your life. So why would you add more to your problems and then trying to be a resolution to their problems, but still trying to, and you don't even know how to find an answer to yours. Right? Isn't that something? Because that's how the enemy, I'm telling you, he wants you to be so, so dysfunctional. He just wants you to be so disturbed that you're not even thinking clear. You know what I mean? Well, there's a lot of people who are in that mental fog, man. And when you bring these kind of things to them in a loving way, of course, you're not just being bullish about it, but you care for them enough that you really bring it down to them. Some of them still don't quite get it. Some are in deep denial. Right. It liberated some folks too, though. They realized how non-stressed they were when they had to slow down. When you finally go through that moment in your life where you are decompressing, you dumping all of that stuff out of your system, whether you are going through you are professionally going to get some counseling or something like that, nothing wrong with that. You will start to take notice of the things that really that attack you emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically. And you'll be like, oh my God, I never knew that this was causing me to have migraines. You'll be surprised. Because the things that happens to us, we find other things to self-medicate, to submerge that hurt, to submerge that guilt, to submerge that pain, whether it's through drugs, whether it's through sex, whether it's through, drinking, eating. We find something to help us, to numb the pain, but it only lasts for such a short time. And then when you sober again, guess what? It's right there. That elephant's still in the room. You didn't kick it out. You did not, you just let it stay there. But you've been trying your best to cover it up, trying your best to, to just camouflage, put something over it. It is. Stress is the silent killer. And we as women, we need to understand that. It's not just our brothers that are stressed, because a lot of our brothers our husbands are stressed. If they are the dominant force, meaning that they are the one that provides in the home, they got a lot on their shoulders, right? And it really does some serious damage. But we as women, we stress too. But some of that stress we put on ourselves. Some of those stress we have allowed. And that's when we got to take acknowledgement on that. We got to acknowledge, I allowed that. I allowed that stress to intervene in my life. I allowed that person. I allowed my sister's behavior. I allowed my parents, situation, that what they did to me, stressed me out. You got to take ownership to that. Because we could go ahead and point the finger and blame those same people. And that thing was done 20 years ago, but yet we still blame on them. Yeah, they may have started, they may have contributed, but baby doll, now you should know better now. There's no need to carry that hurt no more. Whether they acknowledge it, whether they admit it, whatever, at the end of the day, now you got to get healed. You got to get healed now. You need to be restored. You need to be uplifted. God got to do, he has to do a spiritual surgery on you. And that's going to take some time. That's going to take some time. Right? So get your mind right. Don't you fix problems that you didn't create. Don't you fix other people's problems. You got to learn how to say no. I'm not getting involved in that. Girl, I love you, but that's on you, sis. Who told you to date him in the first place? Who told you to get involved in the first place? Right? Why are you calling me up? And then they're going to be like, oh, can you watch the kids for me? Thank you, Diane. I take ownership for it. It's my healing season. There you go. That's perfect right there. And you got people, your family member, your cousin or your sister or somebody like, oh, can you watch the kids for me? Can you take, I'm sorry. No, I can't. I'm not. Because guess what? That same mess that you're dealing with your sibling or with your cousin, that is already poured into their children. And you want to know why Baby Kids is still reoccurring. You remember that show, Baby Kids, back in the day? Y'all remember Baby Kids back in the day? That cartoon. And you see how wild and raunchy and bad them babies were. They still exist today. And it's a whole new generation. Woo, child. You got to deal with your own children. Why in the world you going to bring Baby Kids and the Omen? Oh no, Damon and that, Chucky and all, you ain't bringing all that in your house. I rebuke that spirit in the name of Jesus. I'm telling you the truth. I'm serious. I'm not bringing that in my house. No, 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 no. You take your kids. You deal with that. You ain't had no problem laying up with homie. Now you got some children that just like him now, and you. Now you can't even stand them. But I'm like, that's you. That's a replica of you. And that's just true. That's not trying to be mean, but you gotta understand what you see is you. Your actions, your attitude, your behavior, your mannerism, that's on you. That's through your kid. That's you in that little body. Woo! I'm trying to train mine. And it took a long time to get to this point. By the grace of God, they're doing good. What makes you think I'm gonna welcome Baby Kids and Chucky Kids and all them other no, I'm not. Because I'm trying to get my mind right. I'm trying to get my heart right. I'm trying to get my whole being right. So I can enjoy this day and the days to come. Yeah, those days that's coming, you're going to have some storms, but now you will know how to handle the storm. Now you know what you need to do when it gets too heavy or when it becomes worse. You will know now to say, God, I just cast it to you, even though the storm is hidden, but it's not causing any damage to my heart. It's not causing any damage to my mindset because now I know how to release it to you so I can enjoy this day more abundantly as he says so, right? In his word, right? So yeah, guys, those are the 3 points that I wanted to share with you tonight, right? And I hope this was a blessing to you. I hope it came right on time for you, y'all. I'm super duper excited about this. Leticia and I, we talked about it last night. I said number 3 was probably the one that we definitely will ponder on the most because, again, a lot of us are still trying to fix other people's problems, and we wonder why we cannot get our own life right because we too focused on fixing somebody else's drama, right? But I hope what I have brought to your attention that it's been a blessing to you. And I'm not no profession or anything. I'm just going based on my personal experience and what I have seen and witnessed and observed down through my years of living. Okay. Yes. So what we're going to do now, we're going to move on to what's news. What's news, guys, is a segment where we come and we bring to you articles, or stories that is going on throughout the globe. You don't normally hear it on the or see it on the news, but we decided to bring it to your attention so you can be able to share it and pass it along and just truly be encouraged and inspired by others who are doing wonderful things, right? Doing wonderful things in their community. Get excited, right? So we have this wonderful story of this beautiful queen, right? And I'm going to pull it up right now on my end so I can be able to have it. Nope, hold on, give me a second. Doing it wrong. That's what I get. Hold on. Okay, there we go. I had clicked the wrong thing. All right, so we have this beautiful queen here, and she, it says $5,000 grants potentially available to Black women businesses from hair extensions brand. Wow, that's so exciting. So exciting to hear. Her name is Yummy O. She is the owner and founder of Yummy Extensions and Costa Professionals, I think. Right? So it says that Black women, small business owners, could be among those that could gain $5,000 in grants to help them become the next generation of entrepreneurs. Applications for the Yummy Extension X Yummy O 2023 Woman in Business Grant are now open to 10 women-owned businesses worth a combined $50,000. The grants are being provided by hair entrepreneur Yummy O, who is the owner and founder of Yummy Extensions and Costa Professionals. Okay, criteria for the grants can be found, and there's where you can click on that link. The applications close on the end of this month, with this March 30th. So potential applicants may do well to apply soon. The grants are to be an offer to help celebrate March as Women's History Month. Okay, so this is a beautiful woman here that is doing this phenomenal thing here. She is a former IT consultant, Yummy, who started the Dallas-based Yummy Extensions in 2013 with $2,000 and built it into a multi-million-dollar hair extension brand. Wow. Its sister company, Costa Professionals, is a hair styling tool brand. Get excited about that, right? Um, Let me see. Okay. And she says the groundwork for everything I do is to be a catalyst for change and empowerment, especially among women. It's not a secret that we are natural born leaders, and when we support one another, the sky's the limit. Through this grant, I'm aiming to pay it forward not only for the next generation of entrepreneurs, but also the business grounded in excellence, innovation, and diversity. Okay, so this is a phenomenal story here. And ladies, you have the opportunity, for any of you, or if you know someone that is all about hair extensions and all of those things, if they want to start, or if they are considering starting a small business, this is great for them to go ahead and apply for that. And so they can be eligible to get and receive a $5,000 grant. That is amazing, y'all. So if this is not for you personally, definitely share this on your news feed, or definitely pass this information along to someone. Maybe you have a niece or a cousin or someone that's already in that field in cosmetology, or I mean, they're not in what do you call it, the hair school. I know that's not the right word for it, but you know what I'm saying. And they want to one day own their hair salon or what have you. This is an opportunity for them to get that started, right? And listen, hair, whether it's wigs or whether it's, the extensions, that's $1 billion industry, y'all. That's $1 billion business. You hear what I'm saying? It's still booming, right? And why not take advantage of that? Why not do that? Hey, maybe there's somebody that want to open up a beauty supply store, and I would assume that this grant will support that as well. That's an opportunity right there. Maybe you don't want to be a hair stylist, but you definitely want to be that person in your community to open up a beauty supply store and have the hair extensions, especially Yummy Extensions there, along with other brands in that store as well. So again, if you know of someone that is currently interested, or have been considering or talking about starting a business of this magnitude, definitely pass this along. This is good until March 30th, y'all, to the end of this month. So definitely please pass this along, put this in your news, in your feed on Facebook, and hopefully this will be a great blessing to somebody. I love this What's New segment because, again, this is such a great opportunity for others out there to get them encouraged, to keep them motivated, to help them to not give up on their dreams as well. Because again, as I was just saying earlier, we get so caught up in our troubles and our dramas and our issues that we lose focus. That there is greatness in us, and we allow our problems to tell us that there is nothing great about us, and that's a lie from the enemy, right? So again, this what's news is something that I do take at heart, take dear at heart. Letitia and I take dear at heart, and we definitely want you ladies to not just see this, but to definitely pass this along to someone else. And here's a question for you guys: does this help you at all? I don't think we ever asked that question before since we have done what's news. Has this been a blessing to you? If so, just say yes, or just say it has been a blessing to me. Have you guys been forwarding this information, to your news feed? Have you been sharing it out to other people that you may know of? That when we post certain articles, that some people might be doing the same thing or considering. Have you done that before? Let us know. Let me know right now, because again, we're going to keep doing what we're doing with this, because we know that this seed is another seed that you can pass on to somebody else. And it's all about encouragement. It's all about applauding other women out there, that, there are people who are doing great things, and it doesn't even take a whole lot. It doesn't take a whole lot to get things started, right? She didn't do a whole lot. She didn't put in a whole lot, but she put a lot of her time, her commitment. She sacrificed a lot. She did what she needed to do to get that, to birth out that dream. And here it is. And now she's forwarding it out to others, as she has stated in her article here. So again, guys, again, let us know if this What's New segment has been a blessing to you. It has enlightened you to keep going, whether you are doing hair extensions or whether you're doing other things, but it's basically reminding you to keep going, not to give up on yourself, not to give up on your dreams, not to give up on hope at all. Just keep going, because you just don't know how this is going to open up many opportunities for you. And then you will be on an article, and then we will go ahead and be so super duper proud to share this information, this news out to others, right? And people get to see your good works, see the works that God has put in you, right? And that they're not to give up on yourself, and not to give up on your dreams. Thank you so much, Karen. That's awesome. That's good to hear. That's good to know. Because, I wonder, I sometimes forget to ask this question, but thank God I remember to do it now, because I know it blesses me, and I know it definitely blesses Letitia. And it's not just me, but my girl, Therese, she posts a lot of, articles out here too for us. And it's so encouraging to see and to read some of these stories about how they got this started with very little to nothing, or they saved money, from the youngest, from a 12-year-old up into an adult, and how they collectively, how they collaborated to form this phenomenal movement, and again, it's just very encouraging for me as a businesswoman as well. I mean, I have my stuff back here, and I get discouraged too sometimes. I'm just keeping it real. But excuse me, but to see and to read the stories of others, it just keeps me going. I know a lot of you who are clients of Letitia, you have your businesses, and I know it can get a little bit discouraging sometimes, but you got a great coach, mentor through Letitia, and she will tell you the truth and nothing but the truth, right? And when she tell you, it's seed, it's ministry, and if you just follow what she puts down, man, you see the works, you see how it produces for you, right? And I know we are all living witnesses to that, right? So again, guys, take this and definitely share it along to your sister friends, share it on your Facebook feed or what have you. So we could keep this going, keep this movement going, right? So that's it for What's News, guys. Again, there's no afterglow. And before I go, just to remind you about our self-care event that's going to be taking place next Saturday. Therese, put that link up again so everybody can see that one more time. Again, ladies, Letitia had worked really hard to get the graphics and everything set up for you all. So it is available for you ladies to go ahead and to click on that link there, and to go ahead and start registering for this event. We have a phenomenal guest that's going to be there this next Saturday, that's going to talk about mental health matters and the things that we need to do, how to have a safe, healthy, positive, productive life, right? Through the chaos, through all what we are enduring, what we are dealing with on our daily life, right? And this is something, ladies, we cannot overlook. I don't care right now in your current season that everything is all good, everything is quiet, everything is peaceful. Yeah, it's just a season, because the next season coming, get ready for the storm. And now, when that storm comes, will you have the tools as to how to keep your mental health, at bay, how to keep it clean and clear, how to have clarity even through the storm that you're going to be experiencing. So do not overlook this, ladies. You have to now until the day before, which is the 24th, to get your seats, to go ahead and register and get this get your seats so you could be available next Saturday for this. It's okay, Wakitha. You can watch it. You can watch the replay, my sister. You can watch it. Hey, Queen. Okay, so for sure, ladies, this is going to be a great discussion. And this is something that we all need, no matter where you are in your life, no matter how quiet it is in your life. We all need to be reminded how important mental health is, right? We need to be reminded of that. This is very personal for me, because I know with the trials that I endured for the past 10 plus years of my life, it really took me. And even when I was in college, it took me. Okay. I wouldn't be here today if God didn't block it. Okay, if God didn't block what I was thinking of doing to myself, okay, and that's a testimony I share one day. But I'm telling you, y'all, we as women, we need to be together on this here. Do not get cute with it and do not ignore. All right, we all need to sign up for this. There's over 100 of us in that group. Okay, our sister to sister connection group page. And I will hope to see at least 50% of you sign up for this event, right? And those of you who are watching for the first time on YouTube or even on Facebook or what have you, if you have not registered or have not joined our group, definitely go ahead and join our sister to sister connection. Oh my goodness. It's just a great environment to be a part of. And once you have signed up for it, you will answer those 3 questions and everything, and an administrative team would take it from there, and invite you into the fold. Then you could go ahead and register for this event. Okay. And also participate in the different events that we will have, in the future to come. Okay. So again, there will not be no afterglow tonight, ladies. My girl Leticia Campbell, she's doing her thing right now, and I'm about to do mine. Okay. But other than that, y'all have a good night. Have a great weekend. Okay. And do not allow anything or anybody distract your mind, to have you to get all discombobulated. Okay. Enjoy yourself, enjoy life, and enjoy it to the full, honey. Enjoy your life without no drama, without no mess. Okay. All right, y'all. Have a good night. See you soon. Bye.